So Donald Trump's big fight right now over the documents that were seized from Mar-a-Lago, of course, is that some of them might be covered by privilege. Now, maybe that's executive privilege, which definitely wouldn't apply in this instance. Maybe it's attorney-client privilege. Whatever it is, it's one of those two things he and his legal team have assured us. But it's pretty easy to dismantle both of those claims. First, let's start with executive privilege, because that, of course, is the easiest. If Donald Trump had claimed executive privilege over any of those documents while he was president, all that would need to happen would be for the current president to say, I'm not declaring executive privilege over these. So that matter could be cleared up real quick with the current guy in the White House. Let's hope the DOJ goes that route. Now, as for the second one, of course, that's a little more intense, right? Attorney-client privilege. And that, of course, is what most folks think Donald Trump is trying to look for in order to stall the investigation. But they have a big problem there. And that big problem might actually be obstruction of justice by Donald Trump lawyers Christina Bobb and Evan Corcoran. Because as we all know, back in June, Evan Corcoran drafted and Christina Bobb signed a legal filing, which means it's essentially under oath, saying we have given you all of the documents at Mar-a-Lago. There is nothing left for you to get. And we know, of course, that that was a lie, because beginning of August, the FBI went down there, found all those extra documents that Christina Bobb and Evan Corcoran legally swore were no longer there. So that's obstruction of justice if, and it's a big if they knew that they weren't telling the truth. So that, of course, is what the DOJ would have to prove. They would have to prove that Corcoran and Bobb knew that they did not turn over all of the documents in order for that to be obstruction. If they had been lied to and said there were no more documents and then just said, oh, okay, well, we'll make this document and say that. Good to know. That's not obstruction because they didn't know. Now, they could still be in trouble for it, but it wouldn't necessarily rise to the intent requirements, I guess you would say, of obstruction of justice. So, if you get them on obstruction, that attorney-client privilege then goes out the window, because then you would have two Trump lawyers who would become material witnesses in the case, and those attorney-client privilege documents, if they exist at all, would no longer be covered because of the fraud and crime exception to attorney-client privilege. So the big roundabout thing that I'm saying is that if Donald Trump's lawyers committed obstruction, those documents are no longer protected from attorney-client privilege. And therefore, Donald Trump's claim that he needs a special master would effectively go out the window, and there is nothing that that special master could exclude from the DOJ's review. But in order to get to that point first, the DOJ would have to pursue obstruction of justice charges against Donald Trump's lawyers. I think it's easy. I think it's definitely doable. But does the DOJ have the time, resources, and energy to even go that route? Do they think it's worthwhile to go that route when they already know where they're at in this investigation? I think if they don't go for the obstruction charges, I think that means that they've got a pretty airtight case as it is and they feel like they don't need it. If they do go for it, it could be a way to just show it, Donald Trump like, ha, we're not going to give in to your special master because we've already got your lawyers on obstruction. It could mean lots of different things, but we're not going to know until and unless they actually go that route. One of today's video sponsors is Trade Coffee. Now, I'm one of those people who drinks a lot of coffee, but couldn't tell you exactly what makes a good cup taste so good. All I know is when I get my coffee from Trade Coffee, it's great. So let me tell you a little bit about Trade Coffee. It's a coffee subscription service unlike anything you've tried before, because they partner with top independent roasters to freshly roast and send the best coffees in the country directly to your home on your preferred schedule. Their team of experts do all the work, taste testing hundreds of coffees from across the US every month to curate over 450 exceptional coffees that make the cut. Trade works with a hand-picked and always growing group of over 55 of the nation's best roasters. These are partners that Trade deeply vets around the quality of their product, the way they treat their teams here in the US, and their ethical standards for sourcing their product from around the world at a fair price. The coffee I get from Trade is so good, I can't believe how much I like what they've picked for me here. And their team actually worked with me to create my own custom collection. And if what I got isn't up your alley, then don't worry. Trade will have whatever it is you want. You can shop their most popular coffees by roast or flavor profile, or you can take their coffee quiz and get expertly matched with the coffees you'll love. That's what I did, and it worked out wonderfully. So if you want to support small businesses and brew the best cup of coffee you've ever made at home, it's time to try Trade Coffee. Right now, Trade is offering our viewers a total of $30 off your first order plus free shipping at drinktrade.com/ROF. That's drinktrade.com/ROF for $30 off your subscription to the best coffees in the country.